What's up, everybody, and welcome to Team Pizza Plays Shovel Knight. I, of course, am Whatthefnu, and hang on a second, you might be saying, haven't you covered this game before? Well, yes, actually. In fact, if you've been following us for a while, you know we have a very storied history with this game. But, as you can probably tell by those green letters under the title, something's different. Yup, the Plague of Shadows DLC launched not too long ago, for free for everybody owning the game, and it is awesome. Now, I know everybody's excited for the new playable character, and don't get me wrong, if I get even one person asking for it, I will do a playthrough with him as well, but for now, I want to highlight a little something that I think is getting glossed over that also came with this update, the challenge mode. Now, as the name implies, challenge mode is basically a set of really challenging stages. There are a total of 10 sort of custom platforming stages specifically designed to test certain mechanics, and then the other 16 are all rematches against the boss fights that you fought over the course of the game. And truth be told, this time you actually have to use some skill in learning their patterns rather than brute force everything with the Amulet of Invincibility, as you could before. So, the way this is set up, I'm going to be doing a 6-video series on this. The first 2 are going to be 5 of these challenge stages each, and then I'm going to be doing 4 bosses per video, for a total of, yeah, that's 6 altogether. Like I said at the beginning, starting with Anchors Away, matey! This first one is essentially a survival mode. You can take 2 hits. Hits against what? Well, everybody's favorite enemy, propeller rats, who are very good at their job of just swarming you every chance they get. Now, how this stage essentially works is you have to survive a whole minute against these guys. Now, you have a tool for this, the anchors, which are really good at clearing out swaths of them all at once. Now, I took 1 hit there, as you saw, but I'm still okay. Basically, my general strategy is to go down to the left there and then continue throwing anchors at the new waves that are coming after me. And just a sort of way to soften the blow, because some of them are going to get to you eventually. You're going to have to accept that. You just have to make sure that you survive long enough for the timer to go away. No, this is getting down to the wire. They can get agitating too, because the rats don't always move directly towards you. Sometimes you'll have ones that'll sneak under the platform, like they'll go down instead of into your shovel. Kind of agitating. But we finished that first one, no problem whatsoever. And we're going to hop straight into the second challenge, Dirt Claw Dive. A little bit of a pro tip for this one, use the D-pad. This is a precision platforming challenge, and because this game was designed with 4 directions in mind, you're going to have a lot better time if you decide to actually use a control scheme that was built around that. AKA, like I said, the D-pad. Are you kidding me? There we go. That's how you do it properly. Sad part is I got through this with only 1 death before, but I didn't have any game audio on that recording because of my incompetence, so I had to scrap that one. Excuses, excuses. Let's see some results, man. Well, how about TikTok Tower? This is one I've had a pretty good track record with. Hubris is about to catch up to me, by the way, now that I've said that. This is interesting in the sense that you cannot use your normal attack. Your only method of dealing with enemies is the pogo jump. Like, you might hear me mashing the attack button there, but nothing is happening. That's the gimmick. You gotta get through this entire thing just moving slowly upwards, and just dealing with the enemies as much as you can, with what you can, using the tools at your disposal. But it's not that hard if you know what you're doing. Just bounce on the gears, make sure you don't make any rough mistakes. I've also wondered if it's actually possible to beat this without killing any enemies whatsoever. I'm not going to attempt it, don't get me wrong, but I wonder if it's possible. There we go. Make sure you actually land on those gears, by the way. You don't just jump yourself straight into the spikes. Yeah, that would be bad. That's the kind of tone you would only say that in if you're speaking from personal experience. It's like, yeah, try not doing that. I can assure you, it's not a fun time. Alright, speaking of not a fun time, this is my least favorite out of the first 5 bonus stages. This is Double Bubble, and yeah, you're probably figuring out the mechanic here pretty quickly. You have to ascend to the top of this area. The problem is it's an auto-scroller, and it scrolls so slowly. Like, it takes forever to get even close to the top of this stage, and if you screw up, well, that's it. You're just kind of stuck. you have to do the entire thing over again. It takes so much longer than it feels like it needs to. Like, I get the point. But, as always, I can give you a little bit of advice with this one. Take your time. Okay, that is my ¡1 bit of advice for this stage, is do not feel like you need to rush at any particular point. Like, if you feel like you need to step out of your comfort zone for a second and make a risky move because you're going to miss your chance to move forward if you don't take that chance. Just no, come on. That's my second piece of advice. If you expect there to be 3 bubbles there, try not to pop 2 of them at once and completely screw yourself over. Speaking of taking all the time you need to, be back in a second. Oh! That was a save if I ever saw one. Holy cow. No, 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 not after that. I've got to beat the stage on this attempt now. That was amazing. Sad part is this was the stage where I got my first death last time too, and after I said this is the most tedious one out of the first 5 challenges. Alright. Up, up, and away. Shovel Knight is reaching new heights of his popularity, if you know what I'm saying. Alright, just wait on this one. Gotta make sure I have enough height to take care of that beetle. Now, here's my strategy for this one. I'm gonna wait for these bubbles to get a little higher up on the left. I'm gonna ride all 3 of them, then I'm gonna go over. That way, I have enough time for the ones on the right. Sorry, the ones on the left I need to go up a little bit. The ones on the right, I need to give them enough time to ascend to where they'll actually help me get to where I'm going. Plus, I need to let the ones above them just scroll off screen so they aren't gonna hit, so I don't just slam my head into them and send myself all the way back down to the bottom of the pit. That would be bad. It's a lot easier when you know how. Speaking of which, this is another one of those stages that's exactly like that. Like, when you know what you're doing, it's not so bad, but oh boy. For new players, I imagine this is going to be one of the places where ish really starts to hit the fan. No pun intended, of course. Alright, come on, there's so many things you gotta keep track of here. You gotta keep yourself on the moving platforms, you gotta keep track of the oil that's being thrown down upon you. You gotta make sure you don't take damage at an inopportune moment. And you're juggling the propeller blade on top of all of that, or the knife, whatever it's called. This is strangely one of the few items I did not get during my initial playthrough of the game. And I got through all of the later stages without what some people would consider the best item in the entire game, so and I don't know if that says something about me in the... I don't know what that says about my skill, that I was good enough to beat it without what many people would consider the easy button of this game, or that I just wasn't skilled enough to find it in the first place, and that reflects badly on me. Either way, I beat that without dying, so I'll take what I can get. Oh, and I do believe that's going to bring us to the end of this video. Please tune in again next time when we'll be taking on even more challenges, like Extendo Retracto and more. Until then, I'm Whatthefnu. Later, everybody!